Hey everybody, this is Mike from Jack&JillofAllTrades. In the last video that I did, I showed you guys how to upgrade the RAM on your Synology DS918. The reason that I went ahead and upgraded my RAM was because I intend to do a bunch of different things with this server, like creating a whole house audio system, creating an always-on backup for my wife and I's iPhones, creating a WebDAV server that I can use to share media with my families and friends. So in order for me to actually be able to do these things without severely weighing down my Synology NAS, I needed to upgrade the RAM. Well, now that we got the RAM upgraded, I can show you guys how to go ahead and create a virtual machine. So the reason I'm going to create a virtual machine is to run a copy of Windows 10. That Windows 10 will always be on as long as the Synology NAS is on. And then that'll allow my wife and I to have an always-on backup. So we come home, do our thing, go to bed, plug our phones in to charge at night, and our phones will automatically sync to the always-on Windows machine so that we'll always have a copy of our phones backed up every day without having to think about it. Now I realize for a lot of people who use iPhones, a much more simple option is to just buy some space from the iCloud. But the way I think about it is I've got currently almost 19 terabytes of free storage space on a network attached storage device. So why should I pay somebody $2 to $3 a month for something when I can do it for free for myself since I already have the hardware? So that's what we're going to do today. So the first thing that we need to do is go to our package center here. I already created a shortcut on my desktop, and we would need to download the virtual machine manager. I already have this installed on my Synology, so I don't need to do it, but if you need to get it for yourself, go to the package center and type in virtual machine, if I spell it right, and there we go. So these are all the different packages that pop up when you search for virtual machine. This one here, virtual machine manager, is the one that we're going to use. You would just click on it and say install, and then it would download and install onto your machine. Like I said, I already got mine here, so we'll go ahead and open it up. Now, I've already played around with it before I upgraded the RAM, and I went ahead and created a virtual machine so that I could start to do what I needed to do for the always-on backup. But the problem when I had 4 gigabytes of RAM, it was just so painfully slow that I couldn't do anything, which is why I upgraded the RAM. Now that I've done that, it actually moves along pretty quick. But to show you guys how to do it, I'll go ahead and create a new Synology virtual machine, and then I'll just delete it at the end of this video. So the first thing we want to do is click Create. And we're going to do a Microsoft Windows. We're going to do Windows 10. And we select what storage pool we want to have it on. I only have one storage pool right now, so that's the one I'm going to select. And then we'll call this one YouTube VM. We'll give it just 2 CPUs, and we'll give it 4 gigs of RAM. We'll leave the video as default. And I don't need a lot of space for it since I'm just going to show you guys as a demo and then delete it later, so I'm only going to give it 75 gigabytes of storage space. We're going to go ahead and let this one connect to our network because we are going to want it to be reachable from our phones. So we'll just go ahead and have the default virtual machine network. And this is where we would select our Windows 10 ISO. So let me show you guys how to find the Windows 10 ISO file. And I've included the link for this in the description below. So if you go to this website and you download the installation media tool, it's going to start automatically downloading. Save it there. That's going to allow us to download the ISO file from Microsoft. Another thing that we're going to need is the Synology guest tool for Virtual Machine Manager, which again I have linked down below. So we just go here and download the most updated version, click save, save again, and that's all we need. So we'll go ahead and select the media creation tool. Microsoft is going to take its time. This is a kind of a long process. It's going to take time to get things ready. So once this is done, you're going to see the option to create an ISO file, which is what we want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on with creating it since I've already downloaded this. And then when this is done getting a few things ready, I'll show you how to start creating that ISO file on your system. So I've already downloaded the ISO file, like I said, and I've saved it to my Synology. So we'll go ahead and navigate to the path where I have it. and it's right here. One thing I would like to point out is I have Mike's files here. I don't have the apostrophe. I used to, like we see here for Jessica's file, but for whatever reason, when you're creating a Synology virtual machine, it doesn't find the files, or it can't accept files with apostrophes in them. So make sure whatever file you put it in doesn't have an apostrophe in the title. It took me a while to figure that out. Additional ISO file, this is where we're going to select our virtual machine tools that we downloaded from the Synology website. So we're going to select that. Auto start, I do want this machine to auto start because if my Synology powers off for whatever reason, I just want this virtual machine to come back up with it. I don't want to have to manually go in and restart the virtual machine every single time. We'll leave BIOS alone. Keyboard layout is fine. And we do want to have a USB controller because the first time we sync our phones using iMazing, we're going to need to actually plug them in to the Synology NAS via USB. So we do want to have a USB driver, rather a USB controller loaded. So we select what users we want. I only want my main user, which I'll blur out. And we don't want to power it on just yet. I'm going to take you over and see if Windows has done its thing. It's going to start working on creating the virtual machine, and let's check for Windows. So yeah, Windows is done. It's gathered its few things. We'll say accept, and it's got to get a few more things ready. So let's see how long this one takes. All right, while that's going on, I'll just go here and we will power on our other virtual machine. Okay, so our virtual machine powered on before Windows got a few things ready. So we can see up here, connect. When we go back to our virtual machine manager, we'll click connect. And now it's going to go through the process of installing Windows 10. So this is just like installing Windows on any other computer. So if you've done that before, the process is going to be exactly the same. Let's check back on this. There we go. We want to choose for your purposes, create installation media, an ISO file. So we're going to say next. All of this is fine, and we are going to use the recommended option for the PC. That's fine, and ISO. So when we click next, it's going to ask us where we want to save it. I just put it in the downloads folder. Like I said, I've already got this done, so I'm not going to click save, but you would click save, and then it would begin to download the ISO file that you need to install a virtual machine. So we're just going to cancel out for this. And over here on our virtual machine is going to take quite a while for the Windows 10 install. I'm not going to show you guys how to install the Windows 10. It's just like any other Windows installation, and you can go on YouTube and you can look for any of the other instructions on how to install Windows. Once we get this one done and Windows installed, I'll do another video on how to install iMazing and how to set up your phones to automatically back up. So I hope you guys found this video helpful and that it was able to clear up a few things and give you guys a pretty good instruction on how to create a virtual machine. You don't have to just use this for a Windows, an always-on iPhone backup. If you want another computer that's running Windows for whatever reason, that's a good option. Like I said, the only thing I strongly encourage you do is to check out my other video on how to upgrade the RAM on your Synology NAS, because it's going to run slower than molasses if you don't. And it'll just be so painstakingly slow to do that you will want to pull your hair out. So again, I highly recommend you check out that other video. Check out my affiliate link on that video for the memory that I purchased to upgrade my DS918 from Amazon. At the time of making this video, it was $55. If you do purchase it using my affiliate link, I get a very small portion of that, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So if you did find this video helpful, go ahead, leave me a comment, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll start making more of these videos. If you guys are interested, just let me know what you'd like to see. Thanks everyone, and have a good day.